Hello again. Thought I'd do my spin on, or my take on, Metal Mickey's new thread. It's quite interesting. 10 albums from the 90s to explain or show aliens what death metal from the 90s was all about. I've watched 3 so far. The last one I watched pretty much covered all the bases. Rock and Metal Plus, John, great video. I've tried not to duplicate any bands, but I have duplicated one. Chris with a K music. I've duplicated one of the bands he showed. But the way I see it is, if aliens are going to come down here, they're probably going to be collectors, and they're going to want to collect whatever they find down here. I think they're probably not going to bother with cows' organs themselves, but if they want death metal, they're going to want OGs, aren't they? They're going to want the first presses. Well, they've already seen Jürgen, and they're probably pretty high right now. So they've got all of his vinyl OGs. So now they're going to come and get 10 CDs off me. So Mick put 7 questions, 7 criteria to death metal to give the aliens a good rounded look at 90s death metal. Like I said, John, Mick and Chris and Jürgen, they've all picked pretty staple ones that do explain basically the origins of death metal in the early 90s. So even though I'm sticking with the questions, mine, a fair few are more obscure, so they're not the originators of the sound. But anyway, let's show you what I've got. First one Mick said was a Floridian death metal band, considering that's more or less the origins, and that's where all the best death metal in the early 90s, most polished sound, Scott Burns. So I've gone with Resurrection. Sorry for the glare, let's get in there. I've gone for Resurrection, Embalmed Existence, from 93. Jeez, this is so crap on the telly. I hope it looks better after, because this telly is a load of shit. This is a one and done, I think, from Resurrection. Famous for the storyteller that tells a story, or, well, yeah, I suppose I haven't listened to it for a good time, so in between tracks there's a bloke that just talks absolute craziness, which is really good, called The Storyteller. But yeah, 93, Resurrection, in band, Existence, for Florida. Next one was New York, death metal from from the 90s. Now Chris K, or Chris, sorry if I'm saying your name wrong, Chris K Metal, he showed Mortician, but he showed their early EP, which I forget what it's called, and I can't see mine up there. Mine's on a Mortal Massacre. It's mine's on a compilation anyway. So I've shown their first album. I'm going to show once I get it out the flaming case. I should tuck all these out the case. Mortician, Hacked Up for Barbecue. That's probably what will happen to us if the aliens don't stay stoned. Or actually, they're going to get the munchies sooner or later, so we're fucked. Anyway, Mortician, Hacked Up for Barbecue. Hacked Up for Barbecue. There's a disc. Pioneers of putting the sound bites, horror movie sound bites in, and having the best drummer that they could find. I'm sure that's not true. So Mortician for New York. Then we're going over to Sweden. Now Sweden, we know what Sweden's got to offer, geez, loads. But primarily it's the buzzsaw, and that's all been shown with Entombed, In Flames, melodic, really melodic style. I would have shown Unleashed, but the copy I was going to show, it's No Life Dwells, Where No Life Dwells. My copy is a 92 repress, and it came out in 91, so they won't want that. So what I'm showing is another one and done by a band called Internal Decay, with the album A Forgotten Dream. I don't know how rare this is, probably not that rare, but this is the only press of this album, and it's a reasonable album. It's practically early In Flames, but solid album from 93. There's the disc on it. But I'm sure they'd get their suckers onto that. Next, he wants something from UK. It's from the night, so I went with possibly, my earliest 90s death metal album from the UK. Recorded in December 89, January 90, so came out in 1990. They've got, pretty much you could say, they're part of the pioneers of death metal, especially in the UK, and that's Benediction with Subconscious Terror, with Barney Greenway, on vocals in the middle there, and this was recorded in Soundcheck Studios, Birmingham, so it's UK enough for me. There's a disc on that one. Next one, Mick struggled with this, but it is not knees deep into death metal. He likes so much of the early metal, and I'm not. Although I like it, I'm not into that with McClelton or what I listen to as a rule. So that's probably why he struggled. Rest of the world. So I've gone with something that's is nearly as far away from the UK here that you can get, and that's Testing Balism. With their album, first album I believe, Anatomy of the Beast. And if you know Japanese extreme metal, they love the brutal stuff. A lot of brutal stuff around that side of the world, that area, Philippines and whatnot. So the vocals are brutal, but the music, where it is brutal in places, it's got groovy sort of riffs, catchy riffs, breakdowns. It's not slamming or nothing. It's a decent variated death metal album. I played it earlier, first time in over a year. Good stuff. There's the guys on the back, 4-piece by the looks of it. So that's that for the rest of the world. Strange is the next one. Strange death metal from the 90s. Well, I was going to go with one, but it incorporated too much of other genres, so I've gone with an album I found not too long ago from Australia, and this is Alchemist. And what I remember, Intestine Balism, this album came out in 97. So onto this Alchemist from Australia, their first album. Now this is progressive. They're a progressive metal band. They've got all sorts in their music. Started off more death metal with this album, but they incorporate native Australian instruments, music, and some progressive rock. I do have a compilation with other work from them, but this is where it's at for me. Their first album, Jar of Kingdom, from 93, I believe. Pretty sure it's 93. Yeah, 93. On Lethal Records, first press was, and the disc, I can't show you, it's in there, that's what you're listening to. Next he wanted us to show the aliens something technical, some technical death metal. Now this is a great technical death metal band, also from Sweden. This is their first album from '98, and that's Anatta, The Infernal Depths of Hatred. Now this is just, if you know technical death metal bands, this is exactly that. Your Origin, your Aeon, that sort of thing. Loads, just, I can only imagine watching these guys. Their hands must go 10 to a dozen on a guitar. They must have. It's a great album. So that's technical. Now he threw in one. Pretty sure he threw in one for rest of America. If I didn't say, that's from '98, so that's a bit later in the '90s. And he threw in one from rest of America. I'm sure I could have picked a much better one than this, but these guys are from Virginia, I think. Not sure if they've done any more albums than their first one. I think, oh, this is their second one. I can't remember anyway. This is Demented Ted. I think this is their only one actually. Demented Ted. From Virginia, America. With the album Promises Impure. Picture of the guys there. Now, the lyrics to this, or lyrical theme, a lot of it is man destroying the earth. That sort of thing. So sadly, this album, the production on it stinks, but it's a really good album. But yeah, I don't know what more to say about that one. Anyway, Promises Impure from On Pavement Music, from, geez, it don't say, does it? 93 or 94, I think this is. Don't say. 93 or 94. Right, so I've got a couple left. So carrying on with the, actually, darn. This one in an OG. This is the Nuclear Blast 94 issue. This came out in 93. I thought I'd show a couple of albums with alien themes. So first we've got from Denmark, Dorval. You'd probably still take this anyway. Dorval with the album Detest. Now again, this really suffered with production. On Progress red labels. But this is a repress through Nuclear Blast. This is a concept album, set on the planet Dorval, all about aliens and crap. I did read it all a long time ago and I've just forgot. I think it's about a doctor or something that goes to the planet Dorval and all that. I'm not sure. It's been reissued. They've got back together. So it's a band worth looking into. Dorval with the Test. And the last one I'm going to show, these guys, did I write this? No. Sorry. Correction on Demented Ted. They're not from Virginia, they're from Chicago, Illinois. It's these guys that are from Virginia. Morbius, with the album Alien Christ, which I thought was pretty fitting for the aliens. You can probably guess with a title like Alien Christ, it's a lot of anti-Christian or anti-Bible lyrical content, but this is excellent death metal. There's the disc. Their second album from '94 on Cyber Music. Yes, I'm sorry I can't talk more about the styles and stuff. Doesn't sound all the same to me, but I'm just not clued up enough to break that down for you. Anyway, I've enjoyed the few videos I've seen so far. I know a few more people's got some in the work, so I thought I'd get this in before people start showing more of the same thing, because I've had to change one of mine that John showed. I was going to show the bleeding, but to be fair, that probably wouldn't really have worked, because I was going to show it for New York, and it's not a New York sound, even though they formed in New York. They relocated, and well, anyway, I'll leave a link to Metal Mickey's video, and you can watch the video and understand more what this is about. Take it easy, guys.